Hey, what's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to talk about Three's a Crowd. I think that the show it could have been better. Of course, obviously it only lasted one season, but and to be honest, I didn't see the full season. I watched probably like one episode because it had Larry in it. But I think what could have made it work, if and obviously they rushed. I think they rushed Vicky in the final three episodes of the show. And had they introduced her character in maybe in the early part of season eight, and to make it even better, maybe in the middle part of season seven, because that way the audience could have been more accustomed to her. We could have got a better feel for her as a character. And, like, because she could have been, a girl that Jack was dating, because he dated so many girls throughout the show. She could have been a girl that he was dating, on and off a little bit. She could have been introduced. We could have got more of a feel for her character. I guess to make it more realistic, maybe, the early part of season eight, she could have been a part of some episodes, but I think it would have been better hypothetically. It's all hypothetical anyway, but if she would have been in like the middle part of season seven, I think we would have been able to got a better feel for her and her dad, as a matter of fact, as well. And and also I think that could have made it better. And also I feel that the show lacked it lacked more characters of the previous of Three's Company. I think Janet, could have appeared in more episodes, but also I think that Janet, Joyce Duet, she actually, she said something to John about something. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to speculate, but I think she said something about the show in a negative way. So that's why she. That's probably why she didn't appear on the show. But hypothetically, they could have, and I get it. They wanted to have their own identity, but I feel like Janet should have appeared in more episodes. Not too many. I think she probably should have appeared in maybe two episodes, maybe just one. As we get introduced, because once you start a show off, and that's why a lot of times spinoffs they're not able to be successful, is because it's just so brand new. It's so many different characters, and even though Jack he he made the show what it was. He needed Janet. He needed Chrissy. He needed Terry. He needed Cindy. He needed Mr. Furley. He needed the Ropers. He needed Larry. He needed these other characters. Like it's a team. So he needed all those characters. And also, I think that Larry should have been a part of the show in general. I think that he should have moved over into Three's a Crowd because he was Jack's best friend. I think that he should have been a regular on the show. And I think that would have made the show better. And I think that the audience at the time would have been more eager to watch it. That would have made it better. But the fact that they just had Jack and so many characters that we don't really care about, it it made it for, that's why it didn't last long. I think that would have made it better if Larry would have appeared, as a not just appeared, but as one of the main characters. He should have been a main character on the show, and then maybe Mr. Furley make an appearance on the episodes. Because at the end of the day, like, these are not like, and again, I understand, but I think that the first season of a show, you have to you have to make it, appealing to the audience. And they could have squeezed in some of these legacy characters from the previous show that it was based off on, to get it going, to make it, to get the audience going, because it's so many unfamiliar characters. Like, we don't know these characters. So you have to, I think Mr. Furley probably should have appeared in maybe like maybe two episodes. Again, you don't want to make it too much, because again, you want to establish a new identity. I get that, but that show needed help. It needed help. It needed it bad. And I think that I don't know how many episodes that they had on the show, on the episode. I think it only lasted one season. If I remember correctly, I think they had over 20 episodes. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna fact check after I'm done with this video. But maybe Larry could have appeared in maybe, about 8 episodes out of that 20 or so episodes in there. You can have that familiar character there, and maybe Janet should have appeared in maybe 2 episodes. Maybe one with just her, and maybe one with, with her husband. And then Mr. Furley maybe appear in maybe 1 episode just for season 2. I mean, just for season 1, just to have a better feel for the show. But yeah, I think that if the show had those elements, I think that it would have been more successful. It definitely wouldn't have been canceled that early. And I hope that it would have been able to last a little longer. I think that, again, with Jack and Larry carrying over into the show, I think that would have made it better. Because again, these characters are Jack's friends. Like, you have to make it realistic. I know that a lot of TV shows, sometimes they don't follow, which annoys me. They don't follow, key continuity, and when it comes to character development and character consistency. But these are characters that have been well established for 8 seasons with Jack. In Mr. Furley case, for seasons 4 through 8. So Mr. Furley, is a legacy character. He has to be, again, not too much, but maybe Mr. Furley probably could appear in another episode or two in season 8. I mean, season 2, if the show had been picked up for season 2. But you have to have some of these characters on the show occasionally appear to make it a bit more realistic. Hypothetically, if the show had been more successful, had they done these things that I've come up with, I think that it would have made it better, because it needed help. And I might do a video about the Ropers as well, about how maybe that show could have been better. I think that show had more potential to be better than Three's a Crowd, maybe, but because I like the Ropers as a characters, because they were more they were like realistic as a couple. Like they stood out to me as a couple. Like they could have, that was a great idea for them to have a spinoff, but it was just the execution, or I don't know, whatever. It was missing something. But again, that's a video for another day. I might make a video about that. But yeah, that's what I think that would have made Three's a Crowd better. All right, peace, YouTube. I just want to make a video about it. All right, peace.